This was the last crime scene of the serial killer Cade Sanders, who has been recently captured by the police. Though his spree of crime may have been short, the manner in which he committed these crimes left a devastating impact on the British public. His total kill count was about 60. He mainly targeted young adults or mixed-race women. Cade Sanders was born on the 21st of March 1994. He was born in Hungerford, England. His father was an alcoholic and verbally abusive towards Cade. He would come home late at night and yell and hurl abuse towards Cade if he saw him up late at night. Cade was the only child of Mark and Rose Sanders. The family lived incredibly isolated from everyone else. Mark was a huge man, standing 6'8" and 210 pounds. He was an ex-war veteran and an ex-fighter pilot. His mum was a high school teacher who suffered from clinical depression and spent most of her life crying in her bedroom. Due to the constant drama, he would spend most of his time with his cousins, Thomas Gemini and Jane Russell, who were the cousins he spent most of his time with. However, Thomas was in a local gang in which he would constantly invite Cade along despite him only being 8 years old. They would regularly get into vandalism and violence-related crimes. At the age of 10, when Thomas and his gang were robbing a house, Cade suffered severe head trauma where he climbed on top of a house, yelled aggressively, and slipped into a garden, landing on the side of his head. He nearly died in hospital but was saved by the doctors. Cade always had a love for animals, owning a dog which he loved a lot, but sadly the dog died of leptospirosis when Cade was 11 years old. Cade buried him in his backyard with a little headstone that's still there today. Cade's first victim was a 28-year-old black woman called Maria Stokes from Croydon. They both met at a bar in Croydon. Cade quickly fell in love with the girl because she was so good looking. When she revealed to him she had a boyfriend, his mind just snapped. He tied her up in the back room, stabbed her 3 times, then covered the body in a rubbish bag and dumped it in the River Thames. I actually got a chance to speak with the victim's mother and ask her a few questions about the incident.
Yes, it took me a long time though. It helped because I know that he has been caught and he will serve time for the crimes that he has committed and the crimes that he's committed against the family. But this will never bring Maria back. To him, I'm just a statistic, along with all his other victims. But Maria will always be in my heart, and she'll always live in my heart, and I will join her one day. I wish I could do more, but I just must accept it as it is.
You know what? That's a difficult question. I see every killing as a personal achievement. Every time I am trying to one myself up, improve, make it more interesting, it gives me adrenaline. It's like a hobby. I mean, I managed to kill like 1, 2, 3, 4 people off the top of my head. Various places, mainly just woods, where there are no people around. It's around about 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. at night. Just put the body in a rubbish bag and put it in the ground. If the place says something like no fly tipping or something, then I would throw them into a lake or a river nearby. And maybe a serial killer, but I'm sure as heck no litterer. One thing you must never do, and that is leave the body raw on the ground. It's easier for people to find out about the crime quicker. Also, it creates havoc among the residents. I think 20% of my victims were buried, 50% were thrown into a river, and the other 30% were just tossed on the side of the road or something. Difficult. I had no one to turn to, if I'm being honest. I was jealous of pretty much everyone, hated everyone to an extent. The only way I ever learned to deal with anything in my childhood was through violence and intimidation. So if anything didn't go my way, I would just react with violence, aggression, and anger. I had fire boil up for most of my life.
After this interview, Cade was sentenced to a secret prison in an unidentified location. He is only allowed visitors from his family and close relatives. He will remain behind bars for the rest of his life, and the British public is thankful for it.